Greetings and salutations. I have a pretty provocative title today, and I figured I'd elaborate on that. Should you fear the military, or should you fear the police when the government unleashes its stuff on us in the name of tyranny? The short answer is fear both. But really, fear the police. Fear the military, but be very afraid of the police. See, the military will be in kind of a secondary role. The police will be the primary role. They will get called in. They will get called in when shit gets really dicey, or to just have a occasional M1 Abrams somewhere, or an Apache helicopter do a flyover just to remind everybody who's in charge and who's boss around here. However, and a lot of people will be like, well, you ain't gonna need no Second Amendment because the government got tanks, they got helicopters, they got unmanned drones. Boy, you ain't gonna last. Well, what about the Viet Cong and the Taliban? They beat all that shit. So did, and if you want to go on a more worldwide scale, the Hezbollah beat the IDF in the 80s. Well, they fought from the 80s to the early 2000s. The Chechens in the 90s, the the Vietnamese against the French. The Vietnamese managed to overthrow their French colonial masters, and the Vietnamese against the Chinese. Uh, the list just goes on and on and on, and the French in Algeria as well. Again, the list just goes on and on and on and on. There haven't been too many successful counterinsurgencies post World War II. Um, yeah, there was the Malayan Emergency. There was the Colombians against the FARC. There was the Russians against the Chechens the second time around. And there, last but not least, there was the insurgency in Iraq, which was at best a Pyrrhic victory, if that. Moving on. Now that we've covered that, we shall move on. The the military is will be will be just kind of sent around to different places, but the police know the area. They know it very well because they've been patrolling those same streets for years, if not decades, and they are also trained to think they're at war with the citizenry, and they've been trained like that for decades. Why do you think they're getting, like, mine resistant vehicles and things like that? I live in a town of about 30 to 40,000 people as of now, and I have been by the sheriff's office numerous times and have seen that they have an APC. What do you think they're going to do with that? Break up a riot or something? And the military will act against the citizenry. I know the Yankee Marshal said different, but they helped the police confiscate guns during Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and the Virgin Islands. They also assisted the police in clearing out Lafayette Square for the God Emperor of the MAGA movement, Donald Trump. They will do as they're told. Um, However, the good news is that we get a lot of is that we get a lot of contradictory messages from the military saying that, Mike Milley said, we don't take an oath to a dictator or a wannabe dictator. I haven't heard anything like that from the police. At least not from somebody that senior. Um, However, the police I know that there are Second Amendment sanctuaries with the sheriffs, and hell, the state I live in, Nevada, has a lot of those. However, those don't really mean anything because the sheriff can file a red flag order anytime he wants. In a constitutional carry state or a Second Amendment sanctuary, they can't do that. However, in a the whole thing with the police is that they are trained to work past the Constitution for their own benefit. They are trained not to trust you, and they are well armed. They are well equipped, and they're not well trained. But they don't really need to be. They because most people don't train at all. They train some, not a lot, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that they're poorly trained because they can get away with anything. It's like they got away with, sexually assaulting a woman on camera. They get away with killing people at random, shooting them in the back. That's not self-defense, that's murder. They can do all this unconstitutional crap, and they're not held accountable. And as a result of that, no accountability means no standards. And also, the police are really a lot like a gang. They have codes of silence and things like that. If you don't believe me, look it up. Blue Shield of Silence. Just type that in or something on Google or Bing or wherever. And the fact of the matter is that these people are ordered to do are indoctrinated to do as they're told. And hell, there are several police departments that won't let you in if your IQ score is too high. Look it up, it's a fact, it's happened numerous times. And there are those of you who say that, if the police have the balls that they had at Uvalde, I ain't too worried. Look what they did at Waco. Look what they've done elsewhere. They will just show that they're not stupid. They'll show up they're probably not going to come to your house right away. They're going to arrest you while you're out wherever, and then come to your house and take your stuff. Hey, don't assume they'll be stupid because they're not. And the military, again, would react like a quick reactionary force. Back in the Roman days, there was the Hastati, the Principe, and the Triarii. The Romans had a saying, it's come to the Triarii. And that being said, is the Triarii were the best of the best. They were veterans who had served for a really long time and would only be used when shit hit the fan. The military would come in as a quick reaction force if things got too hot for the police to handle. And but their role would be fairly limited, I think. The police would be out there all day, every day, tyrannizing people, just like they do now. And it's just, I'm trying to educate people. I'm trying to warn people about what's coming, and I'm trying to encourage people to get ready. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sic Semper Tyrannis, Mulan Labe, and don't tread on me. Be good, y'all.